I've looked into many copilots and code companion platforms, and what I've observed is either they are autonomous, that they do everything by themselves, letting you have no say in what the end product is, or they are too complex where you have to occasionally look into the code. So today we'll be using Windsurf from Codium. It is a first agentic IDE, and the good news is it's currently free. But the task is, as it is said, can we create the Apple website with no coding experience? Well, what you just saw was not the original website, but actually a mockup that I created. But now the challenge is that at no point are we allowed to look into or edit the code files. So before starting, I insist you to watch till the end, and it's just not for me, but you will also see how do we work with such agentic IDEs, and you can also replicate something that I've did and tell me down in the comments how you feel. So without further ado, let's get started. So first things, we start with going into the website codium.com windsurf and downloading the file. So you have all these download options and you can install whichever is compatible with you. So once you have installed, this is most likely what you will be seeing. So we'll be using Cascade. So it is a chatting assistant and it will be interacting with us and doing all the coding and all the steps in the backend. So you don't need to overwhelm by all these things and what to do here. What you have to just do is go to your file explorer and to the specify folder where you want to make this website and create a new folder. So we'll be naming it Apple Mock. So once you have done that, you have to just go to Windsurf and open folder. So we'll be opening the Apple Mock folder. Now we are completely ready. We are starting from scratch. Now as you see, the cascade is also here. See, I have typed out the whole prompt. The prompt is you are tasked to recreate the whole modern Apple website. Take the best part that will lead to the best implementation and best results. We will go one page at a time. Let's start with the home page and then so on and so forth. You design the web page, I review it, and then I say what is the next page we have to design. And together we will have built the whole Apple website. So a pretty simple prompt and nothing else. So let's send this and let's see how the cascade is working. Now you can see it is setting up the project structure and creating the necessary files. So it is creating index.html. So index.html is actually the main file and it's like the home page of your website. So we don't have to worry about things like that. We'll be just chatting. So as you can see, the file has come over here. Let's do one thing. Let's hide it. As I told you, we'll be not using it. As you can see, it is creating a lot many files. So let me just explain these three numbers. You don't have to know it, but just for your knowledge, since it's generating. So the green number shows how many lines it has added, the red number shows how many lines it has deleted from its original code, and 0 shows how many lines of codes are unchanged. Now as you can see, it is creating the Apple logo, SVG image. See, it has created all the files and it is saying that would you like me to continue with any of the steps, and it is telling please note that you will have to add images with the following names, so Hero, iPhone 15 Pro and all those product images. So we'll just head on to Google and download images. So let's see, iPhone 15 Pro. Let's go to images and I think this will be nice. So let's download this and it says that we have to add it to the images folder. So let's move on to the images folder. As you can see, there are many files that have been created in our new folder that we created at the start, and this is the images folder and it already has the Apple logo.svg that Cascade created itself. So here we have to paste all those images. So as you can see, I've downloaded and pasted all these images over in this folder and I have to rename this according to what is mentioned over here. So let's do that. Wait a minute, let's do one thing. We'll mention that we have pasted the images but the names are a bit different. So read the name and understand which file is which. Let's check that out. So I've told that I have pasted the images but the names are a bit different, and also the aspect ratios. Look into which image is of which product and also what aspect ratio it is, and design the page accordingly. So before we move on to that, you'll actually see what edits the Cascade Assistant has made. So you can accept that and reject. So if there is any error, I'll explain this. Currently we'll accept all and let's send this message. So as you can see, it has identified those images and it is editing its code files to accept that images. So it has done all these edits and I just asked it to open the website and it has shown us this terminal command and it asks us to accept it. So let's accept, and as you can see here we have the whole website. See, so there might be some things that we might not be satisfied with. So you can see these images look absolutely ugly currently and we might need to change that. Now as I told you, the previous IDs, some of them will give you this web page and you cannot edit it. You have to just start from scratch. But here we can actually tell Cascade that these 4 images are not looking so good. Maybe the first thing we can do is we can tell that change these 2 rectangles to white, so that it looks neat as it is for the bottom 2 products. So let's convey this to Cascade. Okay, so I've told Cascade to completely change the color of these rectangles to pure white so that it matches the background color of these products. So let's see. So you'll have to do a refresh, and now you can see it looks a bit better. So here we can accept these edits or reject. So if we reject, we will go back to that previous look that we had. So we'll accept this because we are satisfied with that. So it looks pretty nice to me, but there's one more thing. If you go on to the Apple website now, you can see this. The learn more and buy button here are not same as it is in our mock. So it looks kind of ugly to me. So we'll try to recreate this one. So let's convey this to Cascade. So I've wrote this complete prompt that the learn more button should be enclosed in a blue rounded rectangle and the text should be white, and the buy button initially should be, as you can see here, initially should be only having that blue border and the text should be blue, but when I hover over it, then it should change to blue and the rectangle should be filled. So I have given this exact prompt. Let's send this and let's see what we get. As I've told you, we have not even looked into the code. So it is there over here, but we have not looked into it. And also opening the index.html is a very simple thing. We have to just, go over to this folder to just click this index.html and it would have opened. But even that we did through Cascade, as you saw over here. So Cascade is done making the changes. Let's see. Okay, so we have got it. This is exactly what we wanted, but I think this symbol over here, we don't want that. So we have asked it to remove that buttons. Now you can see it looks pretty nice. But I think one thing which I'm not liking is this white padding over here. We wanted to turn it to black. So let's see what we can do. So I think it has made the changes. Let's do a refresh. Okay. So that arrow is gone. Let's also mention this one. So let's see. I mentioned that, the nav bar is not visible when we are at the top of the website. So Cascade is making the edits. Okay, so it has made the changes. Let's do a refresh, and okay, now it looks absolutely awesome. But I think there is one more issue. The Apple logo is not visible. Maybe it is present but it is in black, so we'll have to fix that. Let's mention that. Make the Apple logo white because it's not visible currently. So this is how you can make edits. I think we also might have to do some edits over here because it doesn't look good if you ask me. So it has made the changes, and we do see the Apple logo, but it's not clearly visible. So let's convey this. Okay, so after a couple of tries, I have made the Apple logo be visible, and once I hover over it, it also glows. So that's awesome. And also the Navbar issue is also fixed. So now let's get into these. So in this current way, they don't look good. Let's convey this to Cascade. So I've conveyed this to Cascade and it's making the changes. Okay, so Cascade has made the changes. Let's have a look. Okay, so this looks absolutely pathetic. So since we don't like it, what we'll do is we'll just reject. So see, let's do a refresh and let's see. Now you can see we have come back to the previous iteration. So let's see, if we go on to the Apple website, we can see the container size is such that the image and the text can stay differently as well. So that is something that we have to do over here. I'll just mention this to Cascade. I have asked Cascade to increase the container size of these products so that we can accommodate the image and the text as well. So it has made the changes. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, it looks absolutely awesome now. So now it looks very nice, right? So there is one more issue. We don't have the footer over here. So if you go to the Apple website, we have this footer, but here in the Apple, our implementation, we don't have footer. So let's convey this to Cascade. Okay, so it says it has added the footer. Let's see. Yeah, we have the footer. Absolutely awesome. So now if you see the nav bar, right, you can see all these options. They are clickable, but nothing pops out from them. So let's convey this to Cascade that we have to have drop down menu. So let's see how it is implemented in the Apple website. So if we click this, we have this kind of a rectangle that appears. So let's implement this as well. So I mentioned to Cascade that currently if I click the navbar icons, nothing appears. So please have an Apple style drop down. So Cascade is working over it, but as we know, it might not be correct at the first go. So we might have to do a back and forth and we'll get the correct results. As you know, these websites are not built in a snap. You need some time to build them, especially when we have no coding experience. So now you can see as it is adding a lot of text and navbar items. So 274 insertions have been added. Okay, it seems that it has did the implementation. I don't have high hopes, but let's have a look. Okay, that looks absolutely awesome. I didn't expect that. So it's currently transparent. So it has actually picked up being transparent. So let's fix this. We'll make it opaque, and so let's convey this to cascade. So it seems that it has made the changes. Let's have a look. Okay, so we have it, but I think it has made some changes that I don't like. For example, this line which is being visible, and also it's not completely opaque. So let's revert. So let's see. Okay, so now we have gone to a point where the navbar icons are not working, and also you can see we fixed these things, but it has, I think, reverted way back. So when this happens, you can go to the step where you were actually satisfied. You can see, I think before this we were in a good position. So here you can see just at the right of this prompt you can have this option which is revert to this step. So if we click it, the code will revert to that particular step. So now let's see. So now you can see we are at that point where the navbar was functioning, and also we had fixed all of this. So anytime anything goes wrong, we can revert to that particular step. So let's try this again. We'll use simpler words to convey to cascade. So let's do step by step. I have told it to make the rectangle completely black and not transparent. Then we'll apply the blur if this works correctly. So it has made the changes. Let's have a look. Okay, so it is something weird, I guess. Let's reject that. Okay, so we are here. Let's try this again. I've simply mentioned reduce the transparency of the drop down to 0. So let's see if this works out. So when things are not working out, you might have to do some thinking and prompt in a different way. So it has made the changes. Let's see if it works. So now you can see it absolutely works. So instead of making things complicated, when I told to reduce the transparency to 0, it worked. So I think we are pretty much done with the home page. So sure, you can make it more complicated by adding more products and things like that, but as it's for demo purpose, so I've made it a bit simple. But for example, let's now move on to the Mac page, and I'll show you just a bit of it. So we'll just convey this to cascade that we now need a Mac page and nothing else. We'll not touch the code or do anything like that. First accept the current implementations, and now let's move on. So I've asked it to design the Mac product page and link it to the MacBook Pro icon. So here you can see this is the MacBook Pro icon. When we click this, it goes to the MacBook Pro page. So you can see it is creating mac.html, and if we go on to our file explorer, you can see this new pages folder is being generated in real time, and Mac HTML is being added. So it is done with the Mac page, and it has given us the list of images that it needs. So let's refresh and let's go to the MacBook Pro website. So if you click the Mac icon, then this page appears, and you can see here we need all these images and everything, which will make it look good. Here we do see the error that learn more is is using the previous styling. So we'll just mention to use the styling that is present in the home page on the MacBook Pro website. So I've told it to use the styling that is present in the home page for the learn more and buy button. So it is checking the existing button styles. It has analyzed all these files, and now it is editing the mac.html file. That is the Mac page. So it has made the changes. Let's see. Okay, so we have the buttons, but we have this arrow as well. So we can remove that and make other edits. So I think this was a good tutorial to show you how we can use Codium's Windsurf IDE, and with the help of Cascade build beautiful websites like these. So just so you have watched this video up until this point, I just wanted to show a personal project that I was working on. So I was building this chess interface where humans and LLMs can play. You can put your API key over here, and currently I have set it to human, and if you start the game, you can see you have this implementation of chess where you can play chess. So what is this, what I'm going to do with that, I have not finalized anything, but I just wanted to show what I'm up to with this windsurf editor. So I hope you liked this video, and since it's absolutely free, I would highly suggest you to actually try this, because the only thing you have to do is just chatting, and the cascade agent will do everything for you. Surely try something interesting and tell me down in the comments how was your experience and what did you build. And I think currently we are using Claude 3.5 Sonnet, right? We have Claude 3.5 Sonnet, GPT-4o, and Cascade Space model. If we had even powerful models such as O1 and the DeepSeek's R1 model, then I think our performance could be even better. The O1 model I think will be very pricey, but I think the DeepSeek's model, I think since it's open source, can be tweaked and used. So if you don't know about the model that I'm talking about, is that is the DeepSeek R1. So it is the first competitor to the OpenAI O1 model, and I've made a comparison between them, which is the better reasoning model. So that video will be available at the top right corner, and you can also watch other videos. So do have a look at all those videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.